Okay, I think we're recording. Okay, so again, I'm really happy to be able to do this. It seems to be you guys had a really interesting project there at the Pleasanton Virtual Academy. So tell me a little bit about your topic and why you chose it.
Well, I myself chose taxes, kind of why they're not taught at school and what they are. Personally, I chose this topic because although I didn't know anything about it, I know that it's a huge part when you're older and can lead to a felony crime if you don't do them. Um, and I just I was wondering why I hear all these students saying like, why aren't taxes taught at school? What is the importance of taxes? And they were still never covered in school. And so I kind of wanted to take my own time, especially with the time that was given to us, to investigate that, to see really what they were and why they're so important. They weren't taught at school. And I honestly found out some things that I think I would have never known, not even with a college career or anything, unless I actually took the time to search the topic myself.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. Yeah, no, I think it's a great topic. I mean, it's one of those life things that you're right. We deal with as soon as you start making money or you start spending. So it's a great topic. So really commend you on that. How did you when they said this is going to be a project-based learning experience and you got to finish it, find your topic and do something in a week, you know, that freedom of choosing your own topic, how did you kind of approach that? Was that something new for you, or you're kind of, have you guys done that before?
Yeah, definitely new. I mean, I myself, I want to think I'm a pretty new student at PVA. I've only been there since November, so first semester of my ninth grade year. And schools don't typically give you that option. I mean, when they do, it's refined to the topic of that class. So if they tell you, oh, you can choose whatever you want for a history project, it's usually, well, we're talking about the 15th century. It has to be something to do with the 15th century. So it was definitely something new. And the way I went about it, especially with their explanation that it's to learn something you want, I instantly thought of topics I feel that are A, important, or B, that really intrigue me and I really do want to learn about, and I wouldn't get the opportunity to do otherwise. And that's where taxes came to be. I grew up in a family that we care a lot about business. Income's definitely a thing. I mean, one of my sisters owns her own business. The other one is really well managed with their money. And so I kind of see that. And I was like, well, they talk about taxes, they talk about all these things to do with money. I want to know more about it. What really goes on in the background? What really happens when you're making a six-figure income? What do you have to do with that money?
Mhm. That's wonderful. No, it's a really good topic and one that people have careers on, and for sure. Um, as you went through that process, because I know there was a kind of a inquiry, you ask the questions, and then you do your research the topic. What were the skills that you were picking up, and how do you see that helping you in future things you're going to do?
Well, I saw like as soon as they started explaining it and they said we had a week, I realized that time management was going to be something really important. I personally am really bad with managing my time. I tend to either get distracted fairly easily or I'll be doing on Ingenuity, I'll be doing health class and then I'm like, oh, there's this assignment. I don't really want to do it. Let's switch it up. So I'll just not dedicate or allocate the time that I'm supposed to. So I definitely saw that was going to be an issue, and I decided to pick up on that and create a schedule. I know that PVA had taught me about Google Calendar and stuff, and I decided to use it. I decided to say, all right, I'm going to put an hour, 2 hours a day away of my time to do this. So I picked up on time management. I picked up on um, just like actual focus and dedicating yourself to something. So I guess you could say like dedication itself is something I picked up on because I feel usually in topics, even when I was going to in-person school, it was really hard to just actually put yourself in the, I want to do this project. I need to do this project. It is fun, something I want to do due to the fact that it's always given to you and it's homework. And although this one's still homework, we got to choose it. We got to kind of evolve with the project itself.
You hit on a really interesting point, is that you chose the topic. So because you chose it, did you feel that you owe it to yourself to kind of push yourself and do the project rather than, okay, as you said, this is an assignment that you have to finish, and the topic is this.
100%, 100%. I feel like that's also one of my bigger things. I found I used to be going to Amador before I was going to PVA, and with big projects like essays or presentations when they were given to me, and let's say, although I personally had really good relationships with my teachers, let's say you don't like the teacher, you're gonna be like, oh, she wants me to do this. I don't really want to do it. I'd rather have do something else. So you you push it back. You don't want to do it. And I sometimes see that with really big projects. I mean, you told me I have a project that's going to take me 2-3 weeks to complete. I tend to push back. I'm like, I'll start tomorrow. Tomorrow turns into the day after. The day after turns into 2 days after, so on and so forth. So I definitely feel like I owed it to myself, not just that, I owed it to the wonderful staff we have at PVA to actually persevere and do good in this project.
That's great. That's great. So as you know, I know taxes, it can, not only is there a lot of information out there, but I'm sure there's a lot of like different points of view depending where you might be on the spectrum, politically or philosophically on taxes. So how did what were some of the challenges, both in terms of the amount of information? What were some of the things that you had to overcome? What were the challenges in kind of trying to put together, a fair representation of the issues, in that process?
Well, I try to leave any like point of interest out of my project, whether it be politics or view on the government or view on taxes themselves, to say the least. Why did I choose to do that? I personally myself, as somebody who's had to deal with like people's point of view on the government or people's point of view on the president, I know that sometimes it can be a sore topic or a hurtful one at that. So I wanted to leave that out. So I not only felt like I touched very much on the surface of taxes, I gave you the very dead on about it. I was like, depending on your income, depends on the percentage you have to pay. Well, let's say you gave 2 grand to charity, you can write that off on your taxes. More like hey, this is something to help your situation, not, well, I think that taxes are bad because they make you pay 15,000 out of your 100,000 yearly income, and it's all because of so-and-so president. So I definitely felt like I let the choice, like the points of conflict, points of interest out of there, and just very much focused on the topic itself, on why taxes aren't taught at school, and kind of how they are with the mathematics and reading and all these other things that we cover in school, and just really what they are as a self. They're this number, this percentage, this is what they serve for a person.
Mhm. Great. And then in terms of the process, the application, how did you find that you were able to communicate that well through the tools you had, or did you wish you could have done things a little bit differently?
Definitely. The 3 applications that were given to us, I was not familiar with. I did see that some students decided to use different applications, which made me very jealous.
Yeah.
But I definitely feel that not just being able to like have your own option, whether you want to make a book, whether you wanted to make like a Google document, just like a bit fancier, so like a plan fit. Uh, yeah, was definitely very nice. And I definitely feel like I was able to give that because I was able to write the words that I would typically say, but just put them on a document. So I tend to be pretty straightforward. I give my honest opinions on things. So I feel like I was really able to give that to anybody who read my document or my pamphlet.
And then was the application easy to use? Was it hard to use? Were you able to pick it up? Was there, help out there for you to do what you need to do with it?
For me, it was very easy to pick up. Most of these applications offer you a little tutorial when opening them. I personally didn't look at it. I don't like to sit there for 30 seconds reading a bunch of information, but not just that, it is very clear to, I think, all the students that our teachers are there to help, the advisors are there to help. I personally feel like I can reach out to any of my teachers or maybe Miss Highfield or Miss Fry to get the help I need when needed. So I felt like if I would have reached a barrier like, I can't I can't work around this. Can you please help me? I feel like they definitely do that. And most of the time, I don't quite remember if they did it for this one. No, actually they did. They add a little video or a little document saying how to work this platform, how to use it and how to make the best out of the situation.
Yeah. And then I think you indicated sometimes with homework assignments and other things that you got, procrastination is one of those challenges. Did you feel like on this project you procrastinated, or did you finish it, ahead of time, or you had ample time, or no, you were still procrastinating?
I procrastinated it a lot, yes, despite me knowing I needed this time management, but I don't think I procrastinated as much as I would with other projects. I came up with what I want, like my research topic, what the questions were that I was going to ask with this topic within the first day, of course. Second day, I took on the research, the gathering information, and I did that so on and so forth for the rest of the days. I just felt like when it really came to making the project, I did it on Thursday, didn't do it a Thursday night, I did it all of Thursday. Do I feel like I maybe could have started it sooner and probably had more time, thus come Thursday? Yes, but I didn't procrastinate it nearly as much as other projects. It was more of I'm not familiar with these platforms. I know the help is offered. I just didn't quite want to do it.
Yeah, no, I understand that. And then in terms of, what are you taking away from both this project, and then in terms of that project-based learning, what are some of the things that have been positive for you? And do you look forward to a future project where it's more a topic that you can choose, you have time to kind of go through this process of inquiry and investigation and reporting out?
Well, excuse me. I am taking a lot away from this project, most like for sure. Not only the information that I got to gather, but all the other information that I was able to read from all these other projects, which they varied a lot, whether it be how does Bluetooth work, or whether it be astronomy, or even silly topics like is time travel possible, which theoretically it is, but our bodies can't sustain traveling at that speed, especially through an unknown identity. Um, so I took away a lot. Would I like to do another project? Definitely. If they gave us more time and we could probably make something bigger, I could see creativity taking so many different shapes and forms that I would personally love to see it. I myself feel like I can be pretty creative. Sometimes I lack it. I like more of the bland colors. Like my presentation will have like a matte gray to it with just the black or white writing, not too many pictures or anything. But I feel like with the right student and everything, we'll be able to see some really wonderful, awesome topics and presentations. Lastly, I really did enjoy it. I really loved it. The project itself, I loved the ability of being able to learn something that we were able to. I loved the way the teachers came upon it. I loved, and if they tell me we have another Wonder Week or maybe a Wonder Month, I'm not going to complain. I will throw my hands up, hip hip hooray on the Zoom call.
So like if you were just to kind of like, if you were gonna have an assignment, one would be, your typical homework assignment, you got math problems or you have science problems, and you can solve them and respond that, or like write an essay, or three, develop a project where it's got all of these steps in it. Which one makes you most excited, or which one is the most fun for you or satisfaction in terms of the what you've experienced now?
I feel like completing essays are by far my most like I did it. I have this awesome essay. Look at it. It was long, could have been 5, 10 pages, but I did it. Like salute me, like pray, like I don't know, praise me. That's definitely the most satisfaction I get out of this. And even with projects like this, where I feel like I just put maybe like 5 paragraphs on my pamphlet, it was like a mini essay. And I got pretty much the same satisfaction from it, especially when I know that there's students out there that procrastinated it a lot more than me, didn't maybe do the deep research like some other students did. Made me feel really nice and really felt like I not only did it for myself, but I did it to show others that, I did a good job.
Right. Wonderful. Well, yeah, I really appreciate everything you've shared out. It does appear that the PVA and Pleasant Virtual Academy are seem to be a right fit for you, and so and this project seems to have been something that you excelled in. So this is really, it's great work. And I'm sure, again, hopefully there'll be future opportunities that you can even go deeper in that process, because it does sound, it's more like real life. Real work is like that, right? You have time, you figure it out, you gotta get help. Not too many of our projects, at work are like, solve this problem and you have to turn it in.
Mhm.
So
Definitely.
it was much more closer. And the topic that you chose is a very interesting one, especially around taxes. You're right, everyone does it. They say there's two things you can't avoid in life. One of them is taxes, and the other one is death. And so we definitely need to learn a little bit more about finance and how we spend our money. And so that's a wonderful topic. So I really appreciate it. Any questions or any final comments you want to provide?
Well, two things, if I may. You kind of touched on it. Yeah, it gives that real world sense of things. In school, we're given the assignment, we can get extensions on it. If we turn it in late, the penalty might be a percentage taken off of it, but that doesn't mean you fail completely. While when given projects like this, where you're doing it for yourself and they're big projects and it's something that can relate to the real world, you get that sense that like, oh, in a job, if I were to half do this project, let's say I'm doing the taxes for a major corporation and I just don't know what taxes are, never took the time to actually care about it or didn't pay attention to the classes that were supposed to teach me what to do for taxes, we face a real problem. I lose my job. There could be even bigger consequences long term. Like I could develop debt to the loss of my job. I can face possible legal actions with this company because I lied to them, or if I created fraud by the not knowing how to manage the money properly. So I definitely feel that given this like real life opportunity while still being a school assignment was something that could not only be a moment of realization, but a moment to really expand your growth and intelligence, I guess, or your academics.
Great, great. Well, thank you, Jeff. This has been wonderful. I wish you the best of luck to the rest of the school year, and hopefully you have more fun projects that get you this excited.
Thank you. Thank you very much for this moment. Thank you for having me here for this interview. It truly means a lot. And I hope you have a very good day yourself as well.
Great. Take care. Have a good one.
You too.